yes or
Senator,
no?
I don't pay attention to Russian propaganda. My goal is to speak the truth,
the answer is no.
regardless of whether you like it or not.
I'll take it. That's fine. You said you are used to speaking truth to power.
Yes.
I'm shocked to hear you now say that you are agreeing. I'm not shocked because I know you said it. You are agreeing that you basically said that Putin was justified in rolling over the peaceful border of Ukraine, the first time since World War II that a free nation had been invaded by a totalitarian state. And you were there at 11:30 p.m. that night to say that you were with them, not us. And let me tell you something. You say...
Now, this is what sickens me right here. This is such an important exchange. First of all, pretty much everybody on this committee agrees on all these issues. It's pure groupthink. They're just drowning in nationalistic propaganda. They always think the United States is noble, that all our wars are great. He said to her, you are with them, not with us. Why? Why was she on the other side, a traitor to her country that she served in uniform for now 20 plus years, and he hasn't? Why? Because she pointed out something that has been pointed out in Washington at the highest levels of government for many years, which is that NATO expansion up to the Ukrainian border is regarded by everyone in Moscow, not just Vladimir Putin, but all of his most liberal opponents, as an existential threat to Russian security. Just this week, the Estonian foreign affairs minister of the EU gave an interview, and she was talking about how important it is to go into Russia and change the government and smash it and turn it into little pieces, little countries, so that it's no longer threatening to the West. Everybody in Washington knows that if you expand NATO up to the Ukrainian border, the Russians are going to consider that to be a grave and even existential threat to their security. So if you point out, not that Vladimir Putin was justified in invading Russia, but that maybe things that we did were misguided because we were provoking them and creating an environment where they felt threatened, something that Washington has been describing in memos for ages. In other words, if you critique your own government, now you're on the other side. And if your critique of your government happens to align with some other country, it means you're a propagandist for that other country. By that rationale, people who are opposed to the invasion of Iraq and were criticizing the U.S. government for invading Iraq must have been Iraqi propagandists or Saddam Hussein propagandists. Do you see the idiocy of this mentality? But this is fundamental to Washington discourse. In other words, the only way Tulsi Gabbard could have been a patriot is not by serving our country in the military for 20 years, not by volunteering to go fight in the wars that these people all endorse for their own self-interest, and all the other wars that they've been cheering on as well. No, that has nothing to do with patriotism. Patriotism means that when your government does something or says something, you stand up and you clap like a trained seal. And because she didn't do that, because she didn't mouth everything that all these people in unison believe, Republicans and Democrats on this committee all throughout Washington, the people whose foreign policy has been so completely devastating to the United States, to our financial security, to our national security, to the world, to our standing in the world, if you don't stand up and applaud everything they say and recite every one of their decreed pieties, it means you're a traitor to your country. It means you're on the other side with them. And you're unfit to serve in the highest levels of the U.S. government. Shouldn't we want people with different views inside the U.S. government advising the president based on different perspectives of our foreign policy? But they don't want that. There's homogeneity that's required, and you cannot criticize the U.S. government or its war policies based on this bipartisan rot if you want to be considered to be a position of Director of National Intelligence or something like it. And this is what you're hearing here. Let's listen to the rest.
You don't know because you don't read Russian propaganda. Russian state TV then aired your comments. Did you know that?
Senator, I think you should also quote the statement that I made criticizing Putin for his invasion of Ukraine.
What I would say, Mr. Chairman, with the last, it's up to all of us. We're the Senate. We get to decide whether we're going to confirm this nominee. Obviously, we didn't select this nominee. But can't we do better than somebody who doesn't believe in 702? Can't we believe that somebody who can't answer whether Snowden was a traitor 5 times today, who made excuses for Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, the first time that I'm aware of any American official has done that. I'm questioning her judgment. That's the issue that's at stake here. And as you said, and I totally agree, this is about our intelligence officers. And you cannot, most of what we do here is in secret. This is one of the very few opportunities that you will ever have to have a conversation with this panel in public. And the record is going to be very clear about the position you took with regard to Edward Snowden, and the record is going to be very clear about your reaffirmation of the statements you made in the middle of the night when Russia was invading the free country of Ukraine. And I hope we will take that in consideration when we have this vote.
Your time has expired.
Just look at the compartment alone between Tulsi Gabbard, who's sitting there conducting herself with dignity and certain self-possession and confidence in the things she believes, and this rambling, unstable, warmongering maniac who thinks that any deviation from Washington establishment foreign policy, notwithstanding how destructive it has been, notwithstanding how much it has been driven by lies, somehow renders you unqualified. And again, he's speaking for most of the people on this committee, Republican or Democrat. Even though these people were the ones who were just rejected in this election, even though these people are the ones that have caused Americans to hate their own government and hate Washington, and keep sending people there who promised to destroy it. It's why Obama got elected. It's why Bernie almost got elected. It's why Trump got twice elected. To go to Washington and burn it to the ground. These people continue to believe with such pomposity that they are the guardians of all things noble and that nobody should question or challenge anything they do. All right.